organised a dramatic occupation of the West Pier after being evicted from their makeshift homes in the seafront arches. Having waited out the structure during low tide, they broke open a padlocked trapdoor to reach the pier's deck. Their aim, they said, was to protest against the eviction and to raise the profile of the homelessness issue. Other squatters have been camping on a putting green, while the beach homes have been boarded up.
They were kept very clean and respectable. There wasn't any trouble down here. We had the police coming down a lot most mornings, mainly just harassing us, trying to create an atmosphere where we would give them an excuse to kick us out. That didn't work, so eventually they just did kick us out in the end, which is unfortunate because they were nice little places to live in. It kept people off the streets, which is, I think, is important.
Well, what are the main objectives of the protest?
Mainly the fact that because we've been kicked out of there, we were given certain assurances by the council that as long as things were kept clean and as long as things were kept in a respectable condition, then there wouldn't be a problem. But the Labour councillor Andrew Durr was quoted in the newspaper as saying that there was always broken bottles, and the place was covered in urine. But that actually is not true. We always kept it very clean. Everything was cleared up in the morning, and we never had any complaints from the public who walked past.
They're places that we did up ourselves. They haven't been used for 40 years. No one's ever going to use them now. And we had a community there that Brighton needs, that everywhere needs, because otherwise there wouldn't have been 50 people staying in it. And that was those 40, 50 people are now on the street. They're homeless, they've got nowhere to go.
These have been empty 9 years. They've never been used for 9 years. And Brighton Council just don't want to give us it. We've offered to buy them off them, pay the rent from them. They won't give us it.
So how does Steve Basson, leader of Brighton Council, respond to the squatters' criticisms?
Well, the council has a responsibility for maintaining that part of the seafront, and frankly, beach chalets and putting greens and so on are not really places for people to live. They're places for people to enjoy themselves or work, and so it's a wholly inappropriate use, and we have to take possession of them so that we can let them again and let other people enjoy those areas.
There's some people in the town who think, well, you've chosen a certain lifestyle, why should we help you out? What would you say to that?
But I haven't chosen a certain lifestyle. I want somewhere to stay. I want somewhere, I want a permanent base. They won't give me it. I've been asking all different councils, no, they won't give me it for some reason, because of the way I look.
I've been up to the housing office and the housing associations day after day, and because, quote, I am not a priority need, I can't get any help off them. And I can't get a job unless I've got a house, and I can't get a house unless I've got a job, and it's just a catch-22 situation that you can't get out of unless you suddenly find yourself a lucky windfall or something.
If they come to the council and say they're homeless, that we would have a responsibility to give them advice and help. But so far as we're aware, they've not even approached the council and asked for any help in that way. They certainly haven't been into our housing advice centre, and none of them have declared themselves homeless.
Oh, they say that they have had people from the council down and they have explained the situation to them, but they seem to think that they have to go through a certain amount of red tape that isn't conducive to their sort of lifestyle.
Well, we have to deal with things that way. That's the law. That's the way things are. Obviously, if they've got a project in mind or they want to come and talk to us about doing something differently, then of course we will listen. But we can really only act within the range of our powers. And if they say they are homeless and they are genuinely homeless, then we will certainly apply the legislation as it applies to them and try and help them out as much as we can.
It's a bit drastic, I suppose, taking a pier, but it was the thing that we thought would really put the point across, and hopefully, if we're listened to, it could end up, with a happy ending. Maybe, we might not get the chalets back, but something else might be sorted out. And we're just hoping that something will be sorted out. It's not just for us living here. It's for everyone who's in our same situation.
Every year we have 2,000 people come to us saying they are homeless as households, and every year we house about 1,000 of those, and the others we give advice to. We've got one of the largest homelessness problems in the south, certainly in the country, and we try and provide homes for as many people as we're obliged to, and we do it in the most sensitive way possible. That's not to use bed and breakfast, and we try and use the private sector and also bring into use empty and unused properties and work with landlords to fit everybody in.
Making use of these available resources was the subject of a meeting of the Private Sector Housing Forum at the Brighton Centre last week. The guest speaker was the Shadow Minister for Housing, Nick Rainsford.
Britain faces an acute housing crisis at the present time, and all sections of the community are affected by it. One mustn't forget the fact that over 150,000 households were officially recorded as homeless in the last 12 months, and it's a very sobering thought that the large majority of those who are the most visible and extreme symbol of homelessness, people who actually sleep rough on the streets, the vast majority do not actually feature in the official statistics because they haven't been to record their need with the local authority.
So what is the Forum doing to tackle the housing problem on a local level?
The Forum has got several strategies based on working together with the voluntary sector in the town, the statutory organizations, including Brighton Council, to try and find ways of bringing back into use empty properties that are lying around in the town. And we have had a great success in this. About 400 empty properties, which otherwise would have remained empty, have now become usable, and they are accommodating people who were homeless before. So in that sense, it's an initiative which has had a great success. We are also working with the landlords, the tenants, the housing associations, the building societies, banks, and other organizations to work together to find solutions, because we believe that by involving everybody and including the participation of everybody in the towns, we can achieve more.
What has impressed you most about the Private Sector Housing Forum here? What's special about it?
I think there are three things that are special about it. It's been pioneering. Brighton has been leading the way. Secondly, it has provided a framework in which landlords and the local authority and housing associations and other interested groups can come together, and that provides a basis for partnership. And thirdly, it has actively been dealing with some of the difficulties that have inhibited the private rented sector in the past. It's been providing practical, good solutions to get empty properties back into use and to get tenants into properties, and landlords providing good quality accommodation to meet needs.
But whilst the Forum may be laying down plans for a better future, the problem of homelessness in the area is very much a current one. The West Pier squatters claim to have approached the council and received no help. The council says they're doing all they can. Is this symbolic of a clash of cultures?
Everyone seems to think that anyone who lives this kind of life is instantly some sort of criminal. I'm not saying we're as pure as driven snow, but we're certainly not criminals. Most of us just want to get on with our lives.
I'd like to think we're tolerant, but I think we have to be intolerant of things that impinge upon other people and destroy other people's lifestyle and livelihood. So it's a question of striking a balance, really.
The Brighton Council came down here and called us a bunch of dirty layabout travellers. We're not, we just want to get on with our lives.
The protest has captured the attention of all sections of the community. We spoke to Martin Bogan, a Conservative councillor for the Regency ward, which includes the West Pier area.
Having talked to the people here, I feel that they really don't want to be a part of the community that you and I visited as a community. They've got that right. They don't have to be a part of our community, but equally they don't have a right to invade our community, disregard our laws, disregard our property laws, disregard all our laws, and say that they've got the right to come and settle here. It's not their right, and particularly in a busy tourist resort in the summer season.
But some of the people who are living this lifestyle say that they're leading a peaceful lifestyle and they're not interfering with anybody else. I mean, why do you object to it?
I've never heard such a ridiculous statement in all my life. How can you say people who have taken over what should be a putting green, who have taken over our arches, who have come here, built fires on our putting green, dug holes in our putting green, had they and themselves and their dogs leaving their excrement on our putting green, how can you say they are not interfering with anybody else's way of life?
Because
how can you
mate, we've got nowhere to live, mate. That's why, yeah? And my dad doesn't anywhere, he where he wants, yeah?
That, I think, rather makes my point, doesn't it? That they are not willing to come down here. They have all been offered the chance to go to the Brighton Housing Authority and see how the Brighton Housing Authority might help them. And I think they probably...
So on shore, the heated debate raged on, while the squatters defiantly continued their protest on the dilapidated pier, raising the questions of how long can the protest continue and how long it's going to be before someone gets injured on this ramshackle structure.